and gentlemen, tonight on the news are a sensational election investigation conducted by our team led by special correspondent Tamal Saha, accompanied by video journalist Suraj Pandey. And they have sent shockwaves in political circles. One election booth in West Bengal in Madhya Phulbari area which exposes the rampant subversion of democracy. This is the only story that will feature on the news hour tonight because, ladies and gentlemen, this exposes just what threatens West Bengal and the free play of democracy in the state. Ladies and gentlemen, every single headline in the country boils down to this report that I'm going to show you, brought to us by Tamal Saha, special correspondent in West Bengal. And this is a story of Madhya Phulbari, a polling booth in West Bengal's Raiganj area. And just see how elections and democracy is subverted.
If you were to spot these pictures without giving a closer look, you might just think that these voters were proudly displaying their voter IDs after casting their votes. But what our investigation team led by Tamal Saha and video journalist Suraj Pandey found was absolutely shocking.
যেহেতু এখন দেখা যাচ্ছে যে দুটো দলাদলি হয়ে যাচ্ছে, যেহেতু দলের মাধ্যমে হিন্দু মুসলিমের মাধ্যমে ওটা হয়ে যাচ্ছে, আর আমরা হিন্দু আর ওরা মুসলিম, যে কারণে একটা হিন্দু মুসলিমের মধ্যে আলাদা আলাদা একটা সিস্টেম এসে গেছে, এই কারণেই আমার ভয়।
তো ওখানে কোনো হিন্দুদের ভোট দিতে দেয়নি?
না।
আপনারা হিন্দু বলে ভোট দিতে পারেননি?
না।
Stunned by the charges, our investigating team probed further to dig out the truth.
तो हम जा रहे थे वोट ही देखने के लिए कि कैसा हो रहा है, और वह सोचे थे वोट देंगे सुबह सुबह। तो जैसे हम गए तो वहाँ मेरे सामने भी एक और इंसान था, उसको पकड़ लिया, उसको पकड़ के पहले 2-4 मुक्का दिया, फिर भी मैं जा रहा हूँ, और देखो वो इंसान था, उनको भी मारा था। अच्छा, तो जैसे मैं गया तो मुझे पकड़ के क्या किया, मेरे साइकिल को पहले हथर पर करने लगा, फिर वहाँ से बम्बू निकाला, बम्बू निकाल के मुझे मारने लगा, लेकिन मैं तो मुझे मारा नहीं, मेरे साइकिल को मारा था। फिर पीछे मैं जब आने लगा तो मेरे पीछे की पीठ के पीछे मुझे मारने लगा, तभी से फिर मैं चला आया।
By then, Times Now's team had figured out the subversion of democracy in this particular block of the constituency, which is Muslim dominated.
Booth number 191, presiding officer allegedly entertained their request and said they can even cast votes in someone else's behalf, but their votes for the time being have been cast. So yes, these people were in absolute loss, they were helpless, and there was also a very violent situation that had soon ensued once they had tried confronting the presiding officer at booth number 191. Soon after the violence, some people are also alleging they were manhandled, they were assaulted, and thus fearing for their lives, they have come back to their respective villages. They are saying there are about 600 Hindu voters, and all the Hindu voters have not been allowed to cast their votes.
এরা সব মুসলমান লোক, টিএমসি পার্টির লোক, সব টিএমসি।
পুলিশগুলো দেখলাম, পুলিশদের
আচ্ছা, আপনাদেরকে আটকাচ্ছে কেন?
কেন ভোট দিতে দেবে না? আমরা দিয়ে দিব, তোমাদের যেতে লাগবে না।
কোথায় ভোট দিব?
আর ওরা বুঝতেছে এটা যে হিন্দু যত আছে সব বিজেপিকে ভোট দেবে। আমাদের
আপনারা এটা পুরো হিন্দু পাড়া?
হ্যাঁ, হিন্দু পাড়া এটা। হিন্দু 600 ভোট মোটামুটি 600 ভোট বন্ধ হয়ে গেছে আজকে।
আপনার কাগজ দেখান, আপনার কাগজ দেখান। আপনি ভোট দিতে পারেননি?
না স্যার।
After having witnessed the horror, our team decided to confront the polling agents. And what they found out was quite scandalous.
অনেক লোক বলছে তারা ভোট দিতে পারেনি, তাদের ভোট হয়ে গেছে। এখানে ভোট শান্তিপূর্ণ হয়েছিল? এখানে সকালবেলা ঝামেলা হলো, আমরা সবাই খবর পেলাম, আপনি বলছেন ঝামেলা হয়নি? হ্যাঁ, ওনার ভোটটা হয়ে গেছে?
সেটাই আমি ওনাকে বলতে চাই, কুপনটা দিন।
ওনার ভোট কি করে হয়ে গিয়ে থাকে? ওনার কোথায় ভোট পড়েছে দেখান, উনি ভোট কোথায় দিয়েছেন? স্যার আপনি বলছেন সব শান্তিপূর্ণ হয়েছে, ওনার এক সেকেন্ড দেখি,
600 লোক ভোট দিতে
এক সেকেন্ড দাঁড়ান, এক সেকেন্ড দাঁড়ান, এক সেকেন্ড দাঁড়ান। আপনার নাম কি?
মনোজ কুমার পাল।
মনোজ কুমার পল। ওনার ভোট হয়ে গেছে, উনি বলছেন ভোট দেননি, ওনার ভোটটা কে দিতে পারে তাহলে?
আইডেন্টিফিকেশন তো ফার্স্ট পোলিং অফিসার করবে না?
ফার্স্ট পোলিং অফিসার মানে কে?
ওই তো ওই। हाँ
আপনি আইডেंटिफिकेशन করেছিলেন যখন ওনার ভোটটা হয়েছিল? आपने देखा था कौन आके उनके नाम पे वोट दिया?
আমরাও ছিলাম প্লাস লোকাল পোলিং এজেন্টও ছিল।
लोकल पोलिंग एजेंट ना, आप आइडेंटिफाइंग ऑफिसर है ना, आप ऐसा कोई आदमी आके आइडेंटिफाई किया, आपने देखा? क्या नाम है उनका? मनोज कुमार पॉल। उनका वोट कहाँ पे है? एक सेकंड, कहाँ पे है आपका? उनका नाम कहाँ पे? ये हो गया है तो उनका उंगली में दाग क्यों नहीं है? आप फोन रखो अंदर, इधर पे आप फोन नहीं यूज कर, आप फोन नहीं यूज कर सकते, फोन रखो अंदर, आपका उंगली दिखाओ। उनका उंगली में इंक क्यों नहीं है फिर? क्या नंबर है इस बूथ का?
191।
पूरा कंप्लीट हो गया आप लोगों का? फिर मुझे एक चीज बताइए, इनका वोट दिया कौन है? आप लोग अंदर में, आप लोग को मालूम नहीं कौन दिया? मैं आके एक वोट डाल के जा सकता हूँ इधर? आप भी नहीं वोट डाल पाए?
नहीं, बोल रहा है कि हो गया मेरा। और
क्या
एक,
नाम है
हाँ,
आपका?
एक आदमी बोल रहा था।
एक सेकंड, आस्ते, क्या नाम है आपका?
किशन पॉल।
किशन पॉल, देखिए एक बार। इनका भी हो गया? कौन दिया इनका वोट? कौन दिया इनका वोट? आप इनका चेहरा देखिए, ये चेहरा सेम है? आप देख के बताइए, आप आइडेंटिफिकेशन ऑफिसर है ना? ये चेहरा सेम है? ये चेहरा सेम है? ये चेहरा से ये बंदा आया था पहले वोट देने? उंगली दिखाओ आप सर को, कहाँ पे उनकी उंगली में दाग है? कौन दिया है वोट? आप दिखाओ एक बार। ये चेहरा और ये चेहरा सेम है? हाँ, आप आइडेंटिफिकेशन ऑफिसर हो ना? क्या नाम है आपका? आप प्लीज अपना आईडी कार्ड दिखाइए मेरे को। आपका नाम है सुप्रियो शाह, फर्स्ट पोलिंग ऑफिसर। आपने देखा था ये भाई साहब आए थे वोट देने? आपने देखा था? আপনি দেখেছিলেন এই ভদ্রলোক এসেছিল? মনে নেই আপনার, কিন্তু ভোটটা হয়ে গেছে সেটা আপনি দাগ দিয়ে রেখেছেন। कौन दिया वोट? पुलिस कहाँ पे इधर? कौन दिया वोट? पता नहीं। आपके सामने, आंखों के सामने कोई वोट देके जा रहा है, आपको मालूम नहीं? सर, यू आर द प्रिसाइडिंग ऑफिसर, आई एम सरप्राइज्ड। व्हाट्स गोइंग ऑन? क्या हुआ है सर? वोट कैसे हो गया दोनों इंसान का, जिसका वोट हुआ ही नहीं, जिसने वोट डाला ही नहीं? सर, आपका नाम क्या है? मैं आपका कार्ड देखूं एक बार। आप प्रिसाइडिंग ऑफिसर है सर। सुबह से कितना बजे से है आप इधर? कौन आया था? कौन बंदे थे? सच बता दीजिए।
कौन चीज से?
कौन आके इन लोगों का वोट डाल के गया?
पता नहीं।
लेकिन कोई कैसे डाल सकता है? इंसान अगर खुद वोट ना डाले, आप कैसे कह सकते हैं पता नहीं?
हम तो इसमें पेपर से एंट्री कर रहे हैं सर।
आप पेपर से एंट्री करते हैं और बूथ के अंदर जो हो रहा है वो आपका रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं है।
आइडेंटिफिकेशन वगैरह होगा है।
दिस इज अमेजिंग। आप उनके ऊपर दोष दे रहे हैं, वो आपके ऊपर दोष दे रहे हैं। आपने किसी को इन्फॉर्म किया अभी तक कुछ गलत हो रहा है इसमें?
वो तो प्रेसिडेंट साहब करेगा।
आप उनके ऊपर दोष थाम रहे, वो आपके ऊपर दोष थाम रहे। कौन थे ये लोग? कौन थे ये लोग बता दीजिए।
पता नहीं।
पुलिस नहीं आया सुबह से इधर? पुलिस आया था सुबह इधर?
कोई पता नहीं।
सर, आप इधर पे पोलिंग एजेंट कौन कौन से पार्टी के हैं? सर, आप कौन से पार्टी के हैं? और दूसरा, आप इन लोग का वोट कौन दिया? हाँ, वोट कैसे हो गया फिर?
वही लोग कहेंगे, हम लोग कह पाएंगे। जो आया उसको टिक लगाया हमने।
आप कैसे बूथ के अंदर फोन रिसीव करेंगे? फोन रिसीव नहीं करेंगे अभी। हाँ, आप बताइए क्या हो रहा था सुबह से?
जो आ रहा था हम निशाना लगा रहे थे।
आप निशाना लगा रहे थे?
जो आ रहा था
हाँ,
देख के
इन लोग का नाम पे आप निशाना लगाए?
नहीं, हमने
सीसीटीवी नहीं है इधर? सीसीटीवी नहीं है? आप किसको फोन कर रहे हैं अभी?
फोन नहीं कर।
सर, आई एम गोइंग टू रिपोर्ट दिस टू द इलेक्शन कमीशन। कैसे हो सकता है सर? तो इंसान वोट नहीं दे पाया, आप बोल रहे हैं उनका वोट होगा। ऐसे कितने लोग हैं? और आप लोग का कोई और ऐसा है जो वोट नहीं डाल पाया?
तो नहीं बता पाएंगे सर, हम लोग आए, हम लोग को वोट देने के लिए मिला, इसलिए आपको हम दिखाने के लिए आए। कोई डर के मारे कोई नहीं आ रहा है।
Not only were genuine voters belonging to the Hindu community denied, the polling agent caught on tape by Times Now was sitting inside the booth with a mobile phone in his hand.
सर आप कौन से पार्टी के हैं? और आपकी इन लोग का वोट कौन दिया? हाँ, वोट कैसे हो गया फिर?
वही लोग कहेंगे, हम लोग कह पाएंगे, जो आया उसको टिक लगाया हमने।
आप कैसे बूथ के अंदर फोन रिसीव करेंगे? फोन रिसीव नहीं करेंगे अभी? As I arrive here, I do see a gathering, assembling here. The gathering who are trying to take a stock of what's really going on. But then it was shocking. It was shocking to realize that people did not cast their votes, but their votes have already happened. Who is this mystery voter and who is this mystery voter trying to favor? We have to wait for the Election Commission to take cognizance of it and respond to this question. India is watching. With camera person Suraj Pandey in Gwalpukur, this is Tomal Shah for Times Now.
This is the Mega Times Now investigation impact after Times Now has exposed proxy voting. Left CPIM has demanded repolling in the booth. Mohammad Salim, contestant from West Bengal from the CPIM, speaks to Times Now and responds. We are getting information. We are trying to get him on the phone line, but he's told our reporter that the left parties are demanding a repoll in this booth from where Tamal Saha has sent this report. That's the big story and that's the big impact that's coming in. Let me go across to Tamal Saha. All right, we will try and go across to Tamal Saha. But introducing my panel tonight, Hindus blocked in Bengal. Gaurav Bhatia, national spokesperson of the BJP, Shahzad Poonawala, lawyer, Monica Arora, advocate, Nishant Verma, political analyst, Sabha Naqvi, senior journalist, Abhishek Bakchi, political analyst, and Dr. Suman Siraman, political analyst. But first to a segment that's called The Standpoint, where Abhishek Bakchi will take on Gaurav Bhatia. And Abhishek Bakchi, I want to just ask you, just what's going on in Bengal? No police official, no paramilitary forces, only a TMC agent inside, no CCTVs, and the TMC agent puts votes allegedly into the EVMs when people who want to vote standing with their identifications, not having the ink on their finger, but their vote has already been cast. Is this a replay of what happened in the Panchayat elections where 34% booths saw absolutely uncontested Trinamool victories? Mr. Bakchi, I want to ask you, why don't you just declare the Trinamool Congress as winning on all the 42 seats? Why hold elections in Bengal?
Okay, so Navika, let us get us some time. So, firstly, stop giving a communal color and stop showing every other party as an Islamic party other than BJP, and stop insulting the people of Bengal. And there is a reason because why people call you slimes now. See, the problem is you have to understand that there is a goof up in the things that you did. This constituency is a part of, this polling booth is a part of Raiganj constituency. It is a part of Dinajpur district. So if you see in 2011, 2011 assembly, 2016 assembly and 2014 Lok Sabha, that the three Muslim majority districts of Murshidabad, Malda and Dinajpur were always won by Indian National Congress and left. It is not the place where TMC have won. It is not the place where TMC can do anything. Traditionally, it has been with last 7-8 years with INC and left. And you selected a booth from there to show something, to create an imaginary story like the troll handles of social media handles of BJP. So the story becomes, the fictitious story becomes, doesn't become actually worthy also.
Fictitious story. You find that story fictitious, Mr. Gaurav Bhatia. When Tamal Saha is talking about people of Bengal, Mr. Bakchi questions why we are actually blaming and spoiling the reputation of Bengal. जिनके वोट नहीं डले वो Bengalis नहीं है.
Navika, I think today he knows within that West Bengal has become the most communal state in the country. And congratulations to Newsar for, please ask him to be quiet and not disturb, please. Sir, you got your time. I think I can make my points now. Don't be nervous and jittery.
See, why is BJP not being able to win in spite of Mamata Banerjee winning predominantly by Hindu votes? Why is BJP not being able to win Hindu votes? You have to understand.
Abhishek Bagchi
because
Dada,
you did not show your
Abhishek Bagchi Dada,
25 lakh Hindu Bengalis
বাঙালে
have been
বেশি
excluded
লোক
through
ওখানে
NRC.
ভোট
In
দিতে
NRC,
পারলেন
you
না
are told
কি
that
করেছেন
it is
আপনি
targeted for
ওখানে
Muslim.
বাগচি দাদা একটু
You have
একটু
actually
পরে
targeted
বলবেন
Bengali Hindus through NRC, and it is how you want to show. See why Bengali Hindus went.
Sir,
against
did I
BJP?
identify
Because
them as
you have
Hindus?
targeted Bengali
Did
Hindus
Tamal
in
Saha
NRC.
identify
You have
themselves as
targeted
Hindus?
Durga committee by
There
sending
were
them income
two
tax
women who
notices.
came out and
You have
said they were
targeted
Hindus
Ganga
and were being
Sagarmala.
prevented
See,
from
you have
going in.
targeted everything
We
which
are
Navika,
reporting
you
the
are not being
story,
able to
Mr.
show.
Abhishek
You are
Bagchi.
actually showing the same version
Navika,
as the
let
troll
me
social
respond to
media
him.
handles of
Bagchi
Twitter.
Dada.
See, you have to. If
Bagchi
you create
Dada,
this fictitious
I'll have to
story,
pull
not
down
an
your
issue at all.
fader
You create
if you
a
do
story
not allow
in
other
a
people.
booth where in a constituency which was with TMC for
See,
last 7-8 years.
see,
This
ladies
is the
and gentlemen,
constituency which was never with
goonery
TMC
on display.
for 7-8 years. It
Lower
was
the fader and
Goonery
have a
on
meaningful
display because even in a debate, they will not give anybody else a chance. Just like Gaurav Bhatia, they did not give
no, because your
actual
narrative has
citizens
to play.
Let
a chance
me
to
just
vote.
summarize it for the viewers. And I think,
You have
first
to
of
play
all,
that narrative,
please,
Navika.
Bakchi ji, have strength of truth on your side, honesty on your side. Don't barge in and don't heckle. Navika, first of all, I heard two arguments. He
Honesty
said,
with BJP.
Please,
a party of
Bakchi ji.
serial killer and rapist.
Navika, it
A
would be
party of
impossible
serial
for
killer
us
and
to
rapist
make
is
our
talking
points.
about, you have bought the media.
Bakchi
you have got
ji,
everybody.
have
and
you
are
made
talking
your
of
point?
truth.
Then I will come in.
Mr. Bhatia, have some shame. People
Okay.
have seen your social media video, what you used to tell about
Navika.
BJP when you were with SP.
This is
what
not
you
about him.
told about BJP when you were
Okay.
with SP.
Can I now
everybody
come
in
in?
that, Twitter and
If you
Facebook
have
has
so
seen.
much of faith in me
Mr.
and you
Bhatia,
want
have
to
some
have my
shame.
judgment, then I will
Mr.
say...
Abhishek Bagchi, let's follow some rules because this is not Bengal. This is a studio in Noida, and here we follow some rules in a debate. And in a debate, other
we
people
will
are
follow the
also
rules of
allowed to
selective
speak
presentation of news
apart
and we'll
from
show
a
every
Trinamool
other party as an
representative. So,
Islamic
Mr.
party other
Bagchi,
than BJP.
Mr. Bagchi, learn to
Right,
listen
you-
to other
the-
people. Let's
The
be
fictitious
democratic.
story has to
Let's
done
be
in a constituency where
democratic.
TMC had votes.
1 minute, calm down, calm down, calm down. Sun lijiye. Make your point, Gaurav.
Yes.
I am absolutely.
See, two things are very evident, that there is complete lawlessness in West Bengal, and second, blatant communal politics being done by Mamata Banerjee. And it's not only about one booth. Say, even if it was one booth, why should the voters be deprived of their right to vote? And second, he said, only because they are Hindus, they are being, brought into the front. I would like to ask you, Hindus don't have the right to vote or what? And say if they were Muslims, Mamata Banerjee would have been the first one in another state to come out and say, see, Muslims are being targeted. The point here is that in a democracy, everyone has the right to exercise their vote. What Mamata Banerjee is doing, Navika, and I'm giving you a few incidents. First, yesterday, a 22-year-old BJP worker, his dead body was found hanging from a tree.
In
That-
Purulia.
In Purulia. That is, I think, so shocking, and this is not the first time. Tilochan Mato, Dulal Kumar, Shaktipat Sardar. 3 other brutal murders of BJP workers. Second, BJP workers, BJP leaders and workers are not allowed to campaign. Mr. Amit Shah could not take out his Rath Yatra. That again is a violation of our spirit of democracy. Now TMC knows that they have lost this election. They are going to be decimated. So what do? They will adopt illegal means to ensure that the voters of West Bengal who want a change in West Bengal are not able to exercise their vote. And I would say, bringing in a Bangladeshi to campaign for TMC, Does that reflect too well of Mamata Banerjee? She doesn't have faith in her own leadership and cadre, and she knows that this time BJP is going to win all seats in West Bengal, and that is why they are resorting to violence. They are killing BJP workers. They are actually going and threatening BJP voters and voters. Hindu or Muslim doesn't matter. The fundamental, I would say, right of a voter, that right has been taken away, and that itself, I think, is condemnable, and action should be taken by the Election Commission of India.
Nishant Verma, you saw that complete report. Did we identify the Hindus, or did they identify themselves?
Okay, I may be allowed a minute's time here. I need to explain two things. Tamal Saha has done a wonderful job. It needs to be covered wherever such kind of goonery or whatever nuisance is happening. But having said that, I would like to remind Gaurav Bhatia Sahab that how short memories are. 12th of April, just couple of days back when the first phase was happening, their party candidate, Mr. Pramanik, Nishit Pramanik from Bashirhat, he made a protest in front of the district magistrate's office, alleging that TMC is involved in a booth rigging of 350 booths. My question is not to BJP, not to TMC. May I ask, what is the Election Commission doing, knowing that Bengal is sensitive?
Can I respond?
No, please allow me to complete, sir. Allow me to complete, then all yours, sir. Country पूरी आप ले जाइए. लेकिन ये सवाल का जवाब Election Commission से चाहिए.
We will try and connect with the Election Commission.
West Bengal is so sensitive for even Election Commission of India, and Mr. Nishit Pramanik has already protested again in front of district magistrate.
Well, I'm getting breaking news. Tamal Saha joining me live, and Tamal has just gotten a call from the district magistrate of Raiganj, going across to Tamal Saha, who has this breaking news. Well, that's the reason he wasn't there with us right on top of news. Tamal, you've just been contacted by the district magistrate. What did he ask, and what is his reaction to the report that you filed?
Yes, Navika, I just got a call from the District Magistrate of Raiganj, Mr. Arvind Meena, and he did ask as what really happened. He definitely has seen the report, and he also wanted to get certain facts as which booth number, which is the village, how it all happened, what time did this happen, and whether there were polling agents. In fact, he also tried explaining how a polling booth ideally should look like, how people should sit, and what did I come across. So I have explained to him what I came across. I have also explained to him how one polling agent, that too only from Trinamool Congress, was seated there, who very casually walked in, walked out, and finally came in front of the camera. And I also explained how the first polling officer was seated on one side, bang opposite on the other side, the presiding officer was seated. And he also tried understanding whether it was a vote that has happened with the consent of someone who couldn't go, and the vote was then cast, or it was rigging. I did explain that it is not one of a case. There are about yes, so I did explain there are about 600 people who are complaining that they have not been allowed to cast their votes, and their votes have really fallen in, their votes have happened. So he has taken all the details. He said that he's probing the matter. I'm glad to hear that the state administration, the district magistrate, is probing the matter, and he also said if further help is required, he would get in touch with us. So
that's
yes, I did get a call from the district magistrate just a short while back, and he tried
understanding. An investigation that has already been launched. Sumansi Raman, I want to ask you, you saw that complete report. A certain community, and it's not Tamal Saha, it's not Times Now, it is people on the street there, people in the villages there who actually identified themselves. May I ask you, Mr. Sumansi Raman, when Hindus are blocked with such impunities, shouldn't their voice be raised? Because if it had been the minority community, you would have ripped apart the government at the center and the BJP. Should the same question not be asked of Mamata Banerjee tonight?
Navika, to the best of my knowledge, these elections are being conducted by the Election Commission of India, not by the West Bengal state government. The state police is completely at the disposal of the Election Commission of India, and the Election Commission is free to take whatever necessary action that it feels is required, especially in sensitive areas. West Bengal, we know, is extremely sensitive, and the Election Commission should have taken the necessary precautions. Now, how this becomes an issue of Mamata Banerjee beats me. If there is some irregularity going on, it is the duty of the Election Commission to step in and stop it. So, if anything, this reflects the incompetence
May
of
I
the
answer
Election
that,
Commission,
Navika?
and that has been seen in other states as well, where we have had issues in multiple states.
So nicely
So
you
you have to
utilize the
ask
entire
this
issue,
question.
Mr.
Mr.
Raman.
Gaurav Bhatia should be asking this question to the ECI and not to Mamata
Monica
Banerjee.
Arora wants to rebut you.
How
Monica
is
Arora
it
wants to
that
rebut
these
you.
very
Miss Monica Arora, Miss Monica
very
Arora,
people
how
have stated-
easily it has been passed off to the Election Commission? How easily, when every time the Election Commission has
No,
transferred
whose
officials,
responsibility? I'm
transferred
sorry, Navika.
policemen,
Whose
there are
responsibility is the conduct of the
questions
poll?
that are
Navika,
raised.
instead of
There are questions raised by
congratulating and
Chandrababu Naidu, there are
saluting
questions
Times
raised by
Now
Amrinder
for
Singh,
such
everybody is
fairness.
raising
I
questions.
just don't understand this. If the voting lists are changed, if false
Mr.
voting
Raman,
is
you will
allowed,
not understand this.
where does the
Reason
buck
being,
stop?
instead
The
of
buck stops with the
congratulating
ECI.
Times Now for such fearless reporting, instead of seeing that this is not Pakistan or Bangladesh where Hindus are being persecuted, this is their own West Bengal, this is part of India, where because they are Hindu voters, they are being
You're
discriminated
saying
against.
Election Commission
One
is
day
persecuting.
before, in
That's
the
a very
Gram
serious
Panchayat,
charge.
they were called,
No, you're
and
making
the
a very
TMC
serious
goons
charge,
stated
madam, against the
there,
ECI.
do not come and vote.
Please
Do not
be
vote
very
for any
careful.
other party if you
You're
come.
making a
Vote
serious
for
charge
TMC.
against the Election
Here
Commission.
is the state in which you have Bangladeshi Firzauss and Noor coming to campaign, and the Hindus are not allowed to vote. This is the intolerance, this is the insecurity of Mamata government. May I say, this is the culmination
You are not answering
of
my
their
question.
5 years
Madam,
of
who is
misrule.
conducting the
They have been
election?
appeasing the minority.
Well,
No, no,
well,
you answer
Mr.
my
Sumansi
question.
Raman has raised the question about the Election Commission. I'm just being told Chief Election Commissioner Mr. Sunil Arora is joining me on the phone line. And good evening, Mr. Sunil Arora. Thank you very much for joining me on the News Hour tonight. Our reporter Tamal Saha has filed a report from Madhya Phulbari poll booth in West Bengal, where a large section of the community, of a single community, was allegedly stopped from voting. Your first reaction, Mr. Arora?
It has come to my knowledge, Navika ji, and instructions have already been given to get them cross-verified from the observer of that place. And in any case, we have already sent Mr. Naik, earlier CEO in Bihar for a long time, as special general observer. He will also be looking into the matter.
Mr. Arora, there are doubts that are being raised about this particular booth where there were no police officials or paramilitary forces. In fact, the presiding officer and the identification polling officer didn't have any answers and were passing the buck. Is this a failure of the Election Commission as questions are being raised on the debate tonight?
No, Election Commission today is on the cross every day. So, in such a big country, what happens in one polling booth or polling station cannot be regarded as a failure of ECI. And even if it is, that's your own view, you're welcome to have it as a senior media personnel. What I am saying is that a report has been sought by tomorrow evening on the issue, a detailed report. We've also received similar complaints from 2-3 other states, no sting operations, but for example from Tripura, the same are also being looked into. And by the way, since you have alluded to the quote-unquote failure of Election Commission, Mr. Naik, the orders for Mr. Naik to go as special general observer were issued 2 days back. And he's already there.
But Mr. Arora, the special observer, Mr. Naik, is he going to be looking at the discrepancies at the Madhya Phulbari booth that has been exposed by Times Now?
Obviously. He would be. He would be.
And if it is proven that there were discrepancies and rules have not been followed, what are the options before the EC to take remedial action?
We have all the options.
Including countermandate?
Provided the facts are empirically validated.
Including countermandate?
I said we have all the options in any state of the country.
All right.
And if there is any requirement, we can invoke Article 324 of the Constitution, which we have been doing recently, and quite effectively. I think quite effectively.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Arora. Thank you very much for joining me on the News Hour tonight. And that's the first reaction coming in from the Chief Election Commissioner, who is saying action will be taken. A report has been sought. The report will be submitted by tomorrow evening.
Look at
more breaking news that's coming in. More breaking news, Mr. Nishant Verma. Well, we are getting more information about booths, and in fact, it's a full list, an intel list that we've got, which talks about which are the polling booths across West Bengal where there were discrepancies seen, where people were not allowed to vote, where the Trinamool Congress is allegedly being blamed for not allowing people to come in and vote. Nikunj Garg, our internal security editor, and Tamal Saha, both with me. Nikunj, can you take our viewers through the list that the intel agencies have really given out today about discrepancies in the voting process in Bengal?
Well, Navika, yes, this is the full list that has now come out, and the fact of the matter is also this, that at least on multiple occasions, one booth Tamal covered, but on multiple occasions, according to this list, there instances have happened where voters have gone inside the polling station but have not been allowed to cast their votes. And you know, we can put those put those names out on the television screens also, and there are at least on 6 booths the reports are coming in that the BJP polling agents have been either locked inside or have not been allowed to put their material outside the polling booths. So there are various kinds of discrepancies that's lit. It also certainly lists on some occasion the ruckus created by the BJP workers wherein the voting has not been allowed to happen, but unfortunately at most places it is pointing fingers towards the workers, polling agents and individuals associated with All India Trinamool Congress.
Well, that's the report, and those are the polling stations, those are the booth numbers that are mentioned. And Shehzad, does this leave anything to the imagination? Yes, there are few areas where the BJP is also being said to have held up voters, but most of the cases relate to the Trinamool Congress.
The attempt being made to transfer the blame on the Election Commission, we only need to go back to the observations of the Supreme Court after the Panchayati elections. It held the state government responsible for creating an environment where democracy is finding it tough to survive. And in fact, today what we are seeing is that there is the Talibani murderous culture, TMC, operating in Bengal. And I am very surprised at this hypocrisy of these liberals. Imagine it would have been one booth in Gujarat where, say, a Muslim voters would have been prevented. Ye hai toba macha dete. Today, because it is Hindu voters in Bengal, so all these so-called intolerant award wapsi gang, they have no awards to return tonight. They have no hymns to sing about intolerance, and they have nothing to say about the rights of Hindus being trampled. And the irony is that Rohingyas are welcome in Mamta's Bengal, Bangladeshi actors are welcome in Mamta's Bengal, NRC is opposed in Mamta's Bengal, and Hindu voters are opposed in Mamta's Bengal. So I am asking you,
Sabha Naqvi hasn't spoken on the debate. Nishant Verma, I am coming back to you. Sabha Naqvi, this is not just about one booth. One booth is on camera that Tamal has captured, but there are booths, there are polling stations, and intel agencies have put out a full report. Sabha, this points to a large scale subversion of the process of electioneering, process of democracy, which allows people to make their own choices, not somebody else putting in their votes on the people's behalf by rigging.
So I think there are multiple points to be made here. Any Indian voter who's unable to cast their vote it's a. Can you shut that? Huh? Any Indian voter being unable to cast the vote is a serious matter.
Why
and
any
it should
voter
definitely
and
be
why
looked
not
into
condemn
it.
Mamta
And I'm
Banerjee
really upset that in
unequivocally?
Tripura, run by the BJP.
Why sweeping
Can I
and
finish?
general statements, Sabha
Can
ji?
I finish?
No,
not
but
shout.
I am asking you
Do
a
not
question
shout
and you
at
may
me.
answer after that.
And I also believe,
Every
but I
time
want to
Allow her
ask
to
you a
speak.
question, Gaurav Bhatia.
Allow her
if you
to
will
speak.
keep quiet,
why not?
allow me to speak.
Yes.
I
allow
would
her to
like
speak
that
and I'll
also
give you the turn
us to find out what
counter.
has happened in Tripura. Why has election been postponed in Tripura? I have another question. Is Adityanath Yogi running the election in Uttar Pradesh? If Mamta is to be responsible for a task which is the election commissions, is Adityanath Yogi conducting the UP elections? Let's have the same standard. And what
So are you saying?
is
Are you
as I look at
saying?
your screen,
Are you saying that law and order? The duty of running law and order has been abdicated by Mamta Banerjee?
No, can I respond now? You know, their argument is that during elections, the supervision and control is of the Election Commission of India. But I would like to turn the argument, Navika, when the supervision is of Election Commission of India, there is so much happening in West Bengal. Imagine without the supervision of Election Commission of India, what would Mamta Banerjee do?
Answer that.
Just a sec. Just one more fact. In Uttar Pradesh, dead bodies are not seen hanging from trees. Okay, that is happening in West Bengal. Don't make sweeping remarks. Don't try to justify a wrong that is being done in West Bengal by giving another example. If you are a political analyst, have the heart and the courage to call a spade a spade. And you have never done it in a debate.
All right, allow her to respond. 1 minute. Let's be democratic. Yes, Sabha. The question is...
I couldn't hear what he was saying because he cut into my time.
Okay.
Mr. Gaurav Bhatia cut into my time. There is a very simple issue here.
I'm asking you the question.
Congratulations, Tamal. You are looking into the rights of every Indian citizenship. I will be sending you lists of places where Muslims, this rubbish that Shahzad Poonawala talks, Muslims, I will give you lists. Voter list.
No, why are you making it? Why are you making it a Hindu-Muslim thing? That is the whole problem with pseudo-seculars like you. You people will turn everything into a communal issue.
Under attack in
You
Bengal.
would not have the courage to say that Mayawati is wrong when she says Muslims come out and vote for the Gadbandhan. You will not condemn the Congress and Sidhu will say the same. In West Bengal, when there is blatant violation of the Constitution, people like you will come out to point out an aberration that is happening in some part of India to justify a wrongdoing by Mamata Banerjee. If you have a Muslim who has
I'm sorry, Gaurav Bhatia, the Chief Election Commissioner, Mr. Sunil Arora, just mentioned that there are cases that have been reported from Tripura as well.
Yes, Navika,
so it's not just West Bengal. You also have to accept criticism.
Why do we have to turn it into if Muslims have not been allowed, so Hindus are not allowed to vote? That is fine. That is my point. Every citizen of the country.
I am saying that while questions are being raised in West Bengal, questions are also being raised in Tripura, and that's something that you need to answer.
Not say that there is no democracy that exists in West Bengal.
Abhishek Bagchi. Yes, Mr. Nishant Verma.
In this entire halla gulla, we are missing out. Shehzad bhai, kindly give me 10 seconds.
Somebody has taken my name, so
please
I just need the right to respond.
Take my airtime. No, you have the rights.
I'll give you.
We don't have the rights.
I've been attacked personally.
Hold on.
I just want
You're
to
going
say,
on a wrong debate.
You please respond.
You're going on a wrong
you
debate.
Respond first, sir.
In this halla gulla, BJP, TMC, everyone is missing out on what Sunil Saab, CEC said. एक आध बूथ में कुछ हो जाए, इंडिया इतना बड़ा है. My dear friend Gaurav Bhatia, Supreme Court lawyer is here. हमारे कोर्ट्स कहते हैं, संविधान कहता है कि एक भी इनोसेंट को सजा नहीं
तो
होनी
उन्होंने
चाहिए.
कहा,
मैं बात पूरी
उन्होंने
कर लूं.
कहा
मैं
कि
अभी
इस पे इन्वेस्टिगेशन होगी.
सजा
You are twisting what he said.
लेकिन
You are twisting what he said. He said, he said 140.
एक आध बूथ
I am sorry.
अरे साहब,
twisting what was said.
आपके
The chief election. 1 minute. Nishant Verma.
सीसी के पास क्यों नहीं जाते?
Nishant Verma. No. Let me set the record straight.
मिले हैं इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया से निशान जी एक-एक करके बोलेंगे अच्छा लगेगा
ओके
मैं बता रहा हूं
आज आपने सवाल किया मुझे
नहीं चाहते अब सीधे निशान जी प्लीज निशान जी
1 minute I will no
आपकी
1 minute I will set the record I will set
पुलिस वाला वहाँ पे
Mr. Nishant Verma
एक भी पुलिस वाला नहीं था आपको दोबारा पूछा चाहिए
Nishant Verma Mr. Nishant Verma
आपका पुलिस वाला नहीं था
Mr. Nishant Verma you will have to listen to me
को क्यों नहीं पूछा
you will
क्यों नहीं दिखाया उनको कि आपका एक भी नहीं है इनके कैंडिडेट ने कहा 350 बूथ 12 अप्रैल वहाँ पे कोई मिलिट्री नहीं है कोई सीआरपीएफ
I can't allow you to hijack I
यहाँ पे बैठ के बीजेपी वाले टीएमसी और राहुल गांधी
निशांत वर्मा जी
क्यों ईसीआई को
निशांत वर्मा जी 1 minute निशांत वर्मा जी
अरे चिल्लाना पड़ेगा पूरे देश में राहुल टीएमसी आप में हिम्मत नहीं है कि आप ईसी को जाके पूछे कि आपका फेलियर कैसे देखा जाएगा
अच्छा मैम
I mean ईसी का फेलियर कोई फेलियर नहीं है
प्लीज कम ऑन दिस इज नॉट अ मोनोलॉग
निशान जी अब मैं
एक मिनट let me set the record let me set the record straight the question was asked to the chief election commissioner he said and what he said was that something can happen in a booth I don't have report of every booth on my fingertips an inquiry has been ordered I have seen the report that you have put out. A special observer, Ajay Naik, has been sent, and he said,
2 days back, he said 2 days back.
Yes,
because
1 minute, 2 days back,
their previous report,
and he's going to inquire into this, and he's going to inquire into this incident and submit a report by tomorrow evening. Isn't that what he said?
One second, Gaurav ji. I don't understand the convenient hypocrisy of these people. Today, election commission is responsible, Mamata Banerjee government is not responsible. When raids are happening, IT raids are happening under the supervision and with coordination of the election commission, तब तो मोदी जी रेड करवा
रहे हैं.
तब मोदी जी रेड करवा रहे हैं. ये ममता जी नहीं करवा रही. रेड मोदी करवा रहा है.
तब इसी सही था. तब इसी सही था. गलत है. जहाँ तृणमूल गलत है, जहाँ तृणमूल गलत है, वहाँ हमारा सवाल भी जायज है. No, 1 minute.
हमको क्रिटिसाइज कर सकते हैं लेकिन आप उल्टा नहीं.
1 minute, इसी के लिए 1 minute, Mr. Nishant Verma, your time on this debate at the moment is up. I have to get in the other. 1 minute. No, Abhishek Bagchi and Gaurav Bhatia on the screens. On the screen, Abhishek Bagchi and Gaurav Bhatia. Abhishek Bagchi, I want to ask you, when people in West Bengal belonging to a certain community who identify themselves that they are being blocked because they are Hindus, shouldn't you be worried about them as well? Aren't they also residents of Bengal who are your so-called supporters, your citizens who should be looked after, whose rights should be protected, Mr. Abhishek Bagchi?
Absolutely, Navika. So your entire show is for mudslinging at TMC, and persons speaking on behalf of TMC should get at least 30 seconds to 1 minute.
Am I mudslinging without facts? Am I mudslinging without facts? I have played out a 9-minute report and I have put the facts on the table. Do you have anything to say on the facts?
You should allow me to speak for 90 seconds at least. You should allow me to speak for 90 seconds at least.
If you stick to the subject and respond to the charges.
At least 3 to 4 times the chance. Right. So see, the problem is, as I told, this booth is a part of Raiganj constituency, which is a part of Dinajpur. Dinajpur and Malda and Murshidabad, the 3 Muslim majority districts where never have voted for TMC from 2011, 14 and 16 elections. Your entire effort for showing TMC as an Islamic party would have been bore fruit, because if you would have shown this entire event, this fictitious event in a constituency,
fictitious event, I object. Is this fictitious? Is this? आपको समझ में नहीं आता है. You are challenged in understanding, and I will send you the raw footage. Maybe you can sit and examine it in leisure.
Navika, this is not the first time it's happening in West Bengal, because even in phase 1, and this is for Nishanji who was asking me, a delegation of senior most BJP leaders met the Election Commission of India. And for your information...
I don't understand. Is that important?
It is
whether you're going to the Election Commission of India has become an issue of debate. What's happening on camera is not an issue of debate.
Allowing me to complete my point. What I'm trying to... Yes. It was good to see and it was heartening that the Chief Election Commissioner was responsive. And the paramilitary forces deployment in West Bengal for this very reason has been doubled for the phase 2. And let me tell you, the TMC workers themselves... Just a second.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you saw the story in West Bengal today.
Are actually targeting BJP workers. There have been 3 murders where TMC workers are...
You made that point. You made that point. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to leave you with this thought. If this is happening in any part of India, today we have reported from West Bengal, Madhya Phulbari booth, where Tamal Saha brought this report. But if this is happening in any state, any district, any town of India, please, you know who to call. Time's now. And we give you our word that this is a crusade, because every Indian has the right to have the ink on a genuine vote that he casts. Nobody can take their vote away from them and have rigging of booths happening in the middle of an election in 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our promise to you. Thank you very much. Waiting for your reports. Good night from me, Padmaja Joshi. Coming up next, don't go away.